What's up? What's happening? This is your commissioner back at it again. Week 4 already. Can't believe it. Feels like we just drafted. I got Warren on the show. The Stone Cold Stunners. We're gonna recap week 3 real quick. We'll get into week 4 preview, and we'll also discuss some of the trades that went on. Some interesting ones for sure. But let's get right into week 3. Oh, real quick. Tyler leads the pick'em standings with 14, and second is Warren, and also tied for second is Cam with 11. Then we got 2 people with 9, couple people with 10, 9, 2 with 8, Germ and Randy at the bottom with 7 and 6. Anything can happen. One week someone goes 0-5, someone goes 5-0. We haven't had anyone go 5-0 yet. So the best was you and Tyler. I think week 1 went 5-1. So we haven't had anyone pick all 6. Last week no one picked the high scorer and Paul. So far we had Warren, Matt, and Paul as the high scorers. So let's get into week 3. Let's start with the high scorer. Paul, the Glassbone squad, moving to 1-2. He defeated Team Batting Lawn, LB. He defeated him 156-119. Not really close. LB falls to 1-2. For Paul, his big performance was Devontae Adams with 31, 12 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown. Then he got a combined 44, or actually 51, 50 or 40, 45, I guess, for his 2 running backs, which is great. 21 from Lamar. Kittle with 17. He bounces back. I know LB and I talked shit last week to Paul. Both Barkley and Kittle were on our sleep, or kind of disappointing so far throughout the 3 weeks, but they answer back for Paul. 17 from the defense. I don't know about you, but the defenses have been putting up points this year.
Yeah, especially this week, there was a ton of picks. I know a couple of defense. I think it was New Orleans had a pick 6, got called back.
Yeah.
But there's something like 9 interceptions in the first half of the 1:00 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking through it now. I mean, Cleveland put up 18, New Orleans had 19, Denver had 17, Arizona had 15, Carolina with 10. Yeah, that's about it. But we had a couple negatives. San Fran -1, Washington -8, -3 for the Bucks. So I mean, defenses are scoring actually. So that's interesting. But yeah, Paul's team went off 156 points. You're not going to lose many games scoring 156. Even his bench, Zach Moss has looked good. Williams, I know he just traded. We'll touch on that. Even Callaway, 4 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown. His team went off every aspect of it. Running backs, wideouts, tight end, defense, quarterback. Paul's team looked good last week. Definitely needed to go 1-2. Can't fall to 0-3. That only hurts you. Team LB, though, batting lawn, 24 from Hurts, couple garbage touchdowns at the end to kind of boost his stats up a little bit, but only 8 from Nick Chubb and a 26-6 win for Cleveland. Kind of surprising there.
Well, you got Kareem Hunt got 27.5.
Yeah, 20.
You're not gonna get both of them every week.
Right. So he got the other one in Hunt, but Kelsey average week 17. No touchdown for him. Scantling, Valdez Scantling, nice little game for him as his wide receiver too. Allen Robinson, though, pretty disappointing so far through the year. I know LB, I want to say, took him in the 2nd or 3rd round.
He was 34th overall.
Yeah, so late 3rd. And this year, 9, 10, and 4 points. He's currently the 65th ranked wideout. Pretty disappointing. Quarterback situation is brutal over there. Not a guy I would like to have moving forward until something changes. But LB, just a disappointing week. Still put up 120. That would have beat 1 or 2 teams this week, or 3. But he went against the high scorer, 15 from his defense, 27 from Hunt, 17 from Kelsey. For me, LB's team, I think it depends on Chubb. He doesn't have a great RB2. The wide receivers has been a little bit disappointing. But he got Ayuk now. Could get some targets in San Fran. Melvin Gordon with 60 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know why, not to cut you off. I don't know why he's got Gordon on the bench.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
spot for Tyson Williams, who's a fourth string back in a running offense. I get that, but I mean, Melvin Gordon, what's Melvin Gordon doing? He's 13 out of RBs.
yeah.
I mean, he's at least earn you a flex spot. I know he's got Hunt and Chubb, but I don't know, you got to figure out something there.
Yeah. But yeah, Paul high score 156 to 119. I would say Paul's team trending up. LB's kind of maybe trending down. So we'll see here in the next couple weeks. Moving on though. Really close game. I think two playoff teams here. Herbert's Heroes, and I got a Thielen inside my Jones, I believe that's his name. Matt Carter, 144 to 135, favoring Jake May. Start with Jake's team. Great effort from Herbert. Goes into Kansas City, puts up 38 fantasy points, throws for 4 touchdowns. After a somewhat disappointing game versus Dallas last week, Herbert looked good. They looked good. Eckler, he got the duo with them two. He puts up 22, 55 yards, receiving touchdown. James Robinson gets back on track. He was disappointing in the 2 weeks. But disappointing for Jake's team is D-Hop, only 5 points, 3 catches, 21. I know he had a rib injury, got banged up.
Yeah. He wins high scoring if he does anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if he just starts anybody on his bench.
Yeah, he does anything. I mean, on his bench, look at Cole Beasley, 11 catches, 98 yards, 20 points. Christian Kirk, 17 points. He definitely has some options in his flex position. We'll have to see once we get into the week 4 preview who he got in there for this week. But Mike Evans, 100-yard day. Logan Thomas, 4 for 42 and a touchdown. I thought maybe Jake had a shot in the Monday night game with Devontae Smith, potentially getting him. I think he needed 18 points heading into the game, but that was not the case. And then he deals him. This last night, gets rid of him. So we'll talk about that later. But for Matt's team, typical day for Tom Brady, 30 points. Aaron Jones with 17. I'd imagine that's where Aaron Jones is just about every week, right around 15, 20 points. Montgomery, though, I just don't think there's anyone in the Chicago offense that I would want.
No, if I'm Mikey, I'm dealing Allen Robinson. The quarterback situation. You got Justin Fields, rookie, stunk last week. Nobody knows what happened.
Yeah.
But and if you get the starter, you got Andy Dalton.
Yeah. What do you think about Matt? Should he look to maybe deal Montgomery because Tariq Cohen's on his way back soon?
Yeah, I don't know how much he's going to be stealing reps from, but
I'd
hold on to him.
Probably will. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't look to deal him yet.
He doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't have to at all. Just definitely a disappointing week last week, but he's won 18, 10, and 7. He's still getting the carries. They were just down versus Cleveland. I look for him to, be fine. Ridley with 14, Thielen with another touchdown, 17 points. Gronk coming back to earth with 9. And then in the Thursday night game, Matt got 20 out of Brandon Cooks. I thought, well, shit, Matt's going to move to 3-0 after that performance. But Jake battled back. His team fought, scored a bunch of touchdowns. Herbert helped him a lot, and James Robinson and Eckler. Jake May, I believe, moves to 2-1, and Matt falls to 2-1 as well. Jake May, 144, Matt, 135. Let's move on to Mike versus Joe. We'll start with Mike's team. Not the best performance, but sneaks out a win. He got extremely lucky, to say the least.
Yeah.
McCaffrey leaves the game, I want to say in the first quarter, pulled a hammy. He's done for a few weeks. AJ Brown leaves the game early. He put up 0.3. And then James White leaves the game as well with 0.6. And Joe still had an opportunity to win the game. It came down to his defense. He needed a huge day from the defense. Obviously, that wasn't really obtainable, but kicker with 6, defense 9. Hawkinson, that's another thing. Disappointing day for TJ Hawkinson. He does anything there. Maybe Joey got a win with losing 3 guys.
I think his team is on the downfall here. I mean, AJ
Yeah.
Brown's hurt. That
Yeah.
hurts Tannehill.
Yep.
Julio Jones is hurt. I just read that James White's out for the year.
James White's done for the year in New England, right?
And I mean, his bench is like Deontay Johnson hurt, Michael Thomas hurt, Jalen Waddle. Yeah, good guy, but you starting him with Jacoby Brissett? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got Derek Carr, who leads the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
I mean, he did better, but I mean,
Derek Carr.
I just, yeah, I don't know why he's not starting. Yeah, but other than that, his team's gonna hurt. And
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, he's holding on to McCaffrey, because unless you had $1 million check, you ain't getting him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I felt about that. Obviously, it's the number 1 overall pick in the draft, but with his history, hamstring lingers. Could linger all year. Does he rush himself back? That's something that could linger all year. It's not like he broke his, his hand where 6-8 weeks. It's he's good to go. I mean,
Right.
hamstring, that could be a whole
Yeah.
new thing. So I get why people like us and everyone else in the league would be hesitant to give up a major guy or a key guy to their team for, maybe CMC misses 3 weeks and then in a couple more weeks he gets banged up because he rushed back too quick. I get why there wasn't a deal.
Yeah, but for a team that's living and dying with Cooper Kupp, I'd want something more.
Yeah,
you could get it with a hurt the guy that's not going to produce for the next couple weeks. You could actually get some decent people and replace these guys that are not doing well.
Yeah, I mean, CMC, done for a few weeks. Who knows what AJ Brown? He's still questionable. Didn't practice today. James White's done for the year. Deontay Johnson banged up knee. Who knows how many more weeks he's out. Michael Thomas is on the IR for another, I think, 2 or 3 weeks.
He's about useless anyways when he gets back.
He got a lot of question marks on his team. Just a bad week. We'll see what his lineup looks like when we preview week 4. But I agree. I think Team LB, Team Joe B is trending down.
That's a batting thing going on here. Yours is next.
But no, not me. On the other side, Mike Germ pulls out a win, only scoring 110. Russell Wilson with only 18. I was talking with Mike. I think Russell Wilson had 16 at half, and he only ended with 18.
Yeah,
something like that. I'm not real sure. But Kamara gets back on track after a disappointing week. The week before, he only had 7, bounces back with 20. Trey Sermon, a nice little game for Mike. If you told me my RB2 would get 11 points a week, I'd be thrilled. That's good for Mike there. Metcalf goes off with 6 catches, 107 yards and a touchdown. Chenault, nothing great there. Waller, he gets rid of, but puts up 10. Sony Michel with 10. Not a great performance by Mike, but at the end of the day, it's all about pulling out that win. He gets the W. I want to say Mike moves to 2-1. Not looking at the standings right now. Let me look here. Mike.
Yeah, he's 2-1.
Yeah, Mike's 2-1, and Joe drops to 1-2. Moving on here to Tyler, the fantasy football team versus Country Rose. Take Mahomes. Take me Holmes. This was a really close game. This came down to Monday Night Football. Tyler was down 17, I believe. I think he was down 17 points, and he had Miles Sanders and Greg Zuerlein needing 17 points to get the dub. He fell 3 points short. Miles Sanders with a very, very disappointing day. He only had 2 carries on the day, totaling 8 points. Zuerlein didn't kick a field goal, 5 out of 6 on extra points. -3 from the best defense in the league, most likely. I know people have been passing on them all day. I mean, are they still a viable defense to throw in there? Noah Fant with 3. DJ Moore, though, continues to be a stud. 8 catches on 126 yards. That's clearly Sam Darnold's favorite target. If DJ Moore can stay healthy, he's going to be a wide receiver 1 all year. Stephon Diggs, 6 for 62 with 12. You would think that would have been more considering Josh Allen put up 43 points.
Well, he threw to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel Sanders caught 2 touchdowns. Cole
Dawson
Beasley-
Knox, Cole
uh,
Beasley.
Yep.
They ran all
Spread it
over.
around. So you would think Diggs could have had more. Chris Carson continues to find the end zone. He put up 16, and Najee Harris, I couldn't believe the stat line on him. 14 catches on 19 targets.
Yeah.
For 102 yards. I mean, 14 catches out of the backfield is incredible. Not sure if that can continue, but I mean, that's 19.
It was like the most since like Adrian Peterson and like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
That's
Something crazy.
incredible. But Tyler falls just a little short. Definitely disappointing from Noah Fant, Miles Sanders, and the defense. Gets anything out of those 3, he's looking at a win. On the
He
other
don't start
side,
defense and Zerline makes an extra point. He wins.
yeah, I didn't really think of that. Add the 3 on. Zerline,
I mean,
yeah.
you're not gonna sit your defense
No.
Sunday, but
But on the other side of things, let's look at good. Why don't you break down Chiefs team?
Chiefs got a good team. They're just not doing
Yeah.
a whole lot.
Yeah.
Mahomes, like you'd think he'd get way more than 28. I mean, 2 picks. They
Yeah,
look
that's 4.
terrible.
That's 4 points right there.
Kansas City just looks like a bag of ass throwing the ball anymore.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, that's a great game. He just didn't find the end zone. He
Yep.
could have had easily another 30-point game. Singletary, I don't know. He doesn't seem like
No.
I mean, this week at least not, but that I don't know who's that guy Paul got that Moss guy. He seems like he's getting all the red zone touches.
Yeah. Last 2 weeks, he's been outscoring. He's been the guy so far, Zach Moss.
Yeah, but other than I mean, you get 8 out of Brown with a running back thrown to him. I'd take that.
He dropped a couple big passes too. It
Yeah, I know.
Would have been more.
But I mean, not a bad week.
No, not a bad week at all.
He
117.
won, but
He won.
once he needs Jacobs back for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he'll be back this week. We'll see what Josh Jacobs can do. But on his bench, 13 from DJ Chark, Freiermuth, the tight end for the Steelers, 11. But Higbee put up 15. I mean, Chiefs definitely has a nice team. I think it is led by Mahomes and Henry. I think he needs like 25 a week from those 2.
Yeah.
And then have big games from Julio or Godwin. My theory on the Buccaneers wideouts is I don't think
Too
they're
many of
going to be
them.
consistent Mike Evans or Godwin or AB every single week. Like I just think it's spread out too much. There's going to be weeks where Godwin gets 19 plus, 20 plus a week, but I think there's going to be times where he gets 10 or less. But Scalos pulls out a close win, 117 to 114. Tyler falls to 1-2. Did he hit the panic mode a little bit? Fucking trading away all kind of dudes. Looking to deal Najee. You don't want to fall 1-2, but it's better than 0-3. What's better than 0-3 is 3-0, which is Scalos. He's 3-0,
Yeah.
looking to continue the streak. I forgot to say too, Jake May took the crown away from Carter.
That's right, he did.
Took the crown. Jake May is currently the guy with the crown. Forgot to mention that. But
Who's got the chance to take that?
I'm not sure. We'll look at that when we break down week 4. But moving on,
Me.
the last game. There's 2 games we got to cover. Hut Lockett, Cam Bildhauer beats Craven Moorhead Randy 143-90. Cam, unbelievable game from Josh Allen, throwing 4 touchdown passes, rushing for 1, puts up 45 points. Kenyon Drake with 8. Madison fills in for Dalvin Cook, didn't miss a beat. 23 fantasy points, 112 yards, didn't find the end zone, could have been more. Justin Jefferson, 9 for 118 and a touchdown, puts up 26. Robbie Anderson, though, has been a huge disappointment. I don't think he's a viable wide receiver 2 or flex option anymore until he proves it otherwise. He's been very disappointing. DJ Moore has clearly been the guy for Sam Darnold. I look in the future, not the future, in this week or 2. I know Cam's missing Jarvis Landry, but I think Mike Williams is a must start. He's currently the position ranked number 2 wide receiver. He's found the end zone every single week. He has 4 touchdowns on the year. He's put up 82 yards, 91, 122. He's put up 22 points, and 33 points between him and Keenan Allen.
I don't know how he didn't get to start this week. He's averaged
Yeah.
about 11 targets a game
Yeah.
compared to Robbie Anderson's, what is it, 3? What's he got? 3, 6, and 2.
Yeah. I would, yeah.
He's got a better quarterback thrown to him. I don't know.
I look for Cam to must start from here on out. Mike Williams. I know Mike Williams has been, hasn't been able to stay healthy his whole career, but through 3 weeks, the dude's been unbelievable.
Yeah, play him till he's hurt.
But Cam, 15 from Mark Andrews. He finally gets it going, 109 yards. 16 from McManus. Cam, 143. He gets anything out of Kenyon Drake or Robbie Anderson, you're looking at him as the high scorer. Cam has a solid team. It's only going to get better. Dalvin Cook on the bench, Jarvis Landry, Gallup hurt. I mean, the dude has a team. I really like Cam's team. I think I said at the beginning, it was my number 1 team. On the other side of things, though, I said Randy also at the beginning of the year was one of my favorite teams. I don't know what happened. Amari Cooper in a game that they put up 41. I know the defense scored a touchdown, but they ran the ball all over the place. Even your guy, CeeDee Lamb, didn't do much.
He gets way more targets, though.
Jarwin found the end zone twice for the Cowboys. Dak throws 3 touchdowns, 26 points. I think that's about where Dak will be at each week, is about 25. Jonathan Taylor, he moves them, deals them. He's been disappointing all year. 28 running back through 3 weeks. Haven't found the end zone yet. 17, 6, and 8 through 3 weeks. He deals them for Chris Carson's. We'll talk about that trade in a little bit. But Chase Edmonds continues to be a solid option as an RB2, 14 points. Robert Woods, disappointing. I think Robert Woods is like the 3rd or 4th option now.
Well, it's the same situation there as it is in Tampa.
I mean,
everybody's going to get the ball.
Cooper Kupp
gets the ball, but how many yards he get? Kupp. I mean, he's getting the red zone targets.
Cooper Kupp had 9 catches for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
There's just so many guys there. I mean, you got clearly the number 1's Cooper Kupp. The number 2 could be Higbee, the tight end.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you got Van Jefferson, the other wide receiver.
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson had a big play. And then Robert Woods. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Robert Woods. I'm not a huge fan of him. He would not be a wide receiver 2 for me. I would look as a flex option. But Randy gets it going with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, finally bounces back 100 yards, receiving touchdown, but did fumble again. I think that's now 2 in 2 weeks. 16.9 points for Edwards-Helaire. -8 from the defense, 16 from the kicker. I mean, you get 16 from the kicker, 16 from your flex.
And 16.2 out of a $75 Cordero Patterson, who you're not starting.
Yeah, Gesicki with 18, and 16 from Cordero Patterson, who's the 9th ranked running back. I think he got to find his way in there somehow.
He spent $75 out of the $100 limit on Cordero Patterson. He hasn't touched it yet. So
he's got to find a way to get him in there. I don't know. Randy's team's definitely trending down. He's 0-3. He's got to bounce back this week. He can't fall to 0-4. 0-4, I think, is when you start to panic. But he's made some moves. I was hoping he'd made another move. I tried getting Edwards-Helaire, but I just can't offer enough.
I think I had an offer for him. But
Randy falls 0-3. Cam moves to 2-1, I believe. 2-1. 2-1 for Cam. And the final game in week 3 is myself versus you. Very good game, 141-126. It came down to Monday Night Football. I was down 3 or 4 points to you Monday night. I got a huge performance by my 5th overall pick, Ezekiel Elliott. 95 yards and 2 touchdowns really helped me. And Philly held CeeDee Lamb to only 9 points, 3 catches, 66 yards. I needed that. I was very pumped to move to 2-1. You fall to 2-1, correct?
I'm 1-2.
1-2. You fall to 1-2. I moved to 2-1. Your team, great performance by Jamar Chase, 22 fantasy points, 65 yards, 4 catches, 2 touchdowns, big performance. 19 from your defense, 17 from Justin Tucker on a 66-yard boot. That was pretty sweet. But I think I said at the beginning of the week, the winner of this game will be decided on what Kyler Murray does to Jacksonville, and he didn't do much.
No, he didn't. James Conner took all his points.
Yeah.
And
Connor
it's a different game too. That first catch by CD, that big long touch that he gets down at the 1, and then Zeke comes in and gets the points. It's flopped the other way.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a big 6-7 point difference for sure.
yeah,
I had $25 on CD to score the first touchdown of the game. It was
yeah.
it was boosted to like plus 1100. It was like 25 to win 2 something. So I was like pumped. I thought they would at least review it, but down at the 1, that was definitely big. Tyreek Hill though, any concern on him?
He's been disappointing, but I think they're just playing with a safety over top, holding Mahomes, throw it somewhere else. And if Andy Reid's too good of a coach, they're going to figure out how to win without it. So
yeah, I think he'll get it going.
Go ahead and double Tyreek Hill, and then McCole Hardman's just going to run past you. I don't know.
Yeah,
so it'll open up this week, I think.
I think Hill and CD Lamb are definitely going to get it going. Robert Tonyan.
He's sitting on the bench, so he has a breakout game.
Yeah, definitely.
I have all these tight ends that are in these giant committees.
Yeah, there's definitely some options that you have there. Mike Davis, 11, 23rd ranked running back, decent RB2. Antonio Gibson, though, finally gets it going for you. Found the end zone for the first time this year on a 73 or something yard screen pass, took it to the house. 126 points. I think that's right where you want to be to have a shot at winning each week. That's my kind of idea is if I can put up 125 or more, I'm going to give myself a chance to win. It just so happened Matt Stafford outplayed Kyler Murray. He threw for 4 touchdowns, 343 yards, no picks, 37 fantasy points. He beat Kyler Murray by what? Almost 20 points.
Almost 20, 19, yeah.
You know, so that was huge in the game. Zeke matches or outplayed Gibson 10 points. That was big. Damian Harris 3 points. They were getting smoked the whole game. I know it ended up 28-13, but it wasn't really close. Mac Jones threw the ball 40 times. Plus James White's out now. I look for Damian Harris to be even more of a contributor and try to run the ball more. Hopefully that helps him.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps his stock and keeps it going. Terry McLaurin, 4 catches, 62 yards, 10 points. I think that's where he will be at pretty much every week, right around 10 points or more. Keenan Allen, 8 for 50 and a touchdown, 19 points. Him and Mike Williams have been awesome. Very happy with Keenan Allen. Kyle Pitts, though, very disappointing. 2 catches, 35 yards, whatever. Debo, 5 for 52. In a great Sunday night game. He could have found the end zone, just a bad ball by Jimmy G. I think Debo's right around 10 points a week as well. 18 points from Cleveland. They match your defense 19, and then my kicker with 11. On the bench, though, for me, on the bench, though, for you, you had 9 catches and 96 yards from Claypool. Great game. Henry Ruggs continues to be a reliable flex option, I believe. 12 points. Rieger with 10, that's not bad. And then your tight end options this week, Hooper and Henry, 9 and 8. That's definitely better than 1. For me, 13 from Odell in his return to Cleveland in his first game this year since tearing his ACL. Very happy and pleased what I saw from Odell. He looked good. And Michael Pittman Jr., I know a lot of people don't like him. I've been trying to include him in some trade packages. People just don't like the Colts offense. They're not big fans of Michael Pittman Jr., but I mean,
he's got back-to-back 12 target games.
120 yards, 68. He's gone 5, 20, and 13. I think he's clearly the number 1 there. And if no one wants him, I'll use him as a flex option. If I'm looking to maybe move Debo. That's something we'll discuss maybe in the trade block. But I win 141 to 126, and that's the week 3 review. Let's talk about the trades that were made real quick, and then before we get into week week 4. How can I view this? Let me go to recent activity. Let's start with
Let's do Tyler and Mike.
yeah, Tyler and Mike's trade here. So Tyler trades away Noah Fant, Tyler Boyd, the Bengals defense, and Miles Sanders. Mike gets in return, or Mike gives up Darren Waller and Sony Michel. Sony Michel had 20 attempts for 67 yards versus the Buccaneers. I don't know. Darrell Henderson's the guy, unless he's hurt, then Sony Michel would be relevant.
I think Mike needed this trade, but I don't see why Tyler, like all them guys, yeah, they might have been on his bench and he's starting no fan. You get Darren Waller. I don't know. I guess he's the guy, but
Darren Waller's the guy in the trade. I think Mike gave up. Here's the thing. If Miles Sanders, this is the key to the trade. If Miles Sanders can be the 3rd round pick that Tyler drafted for Mike,
yeah, then it's a loss for Tyler.
If he can be a reliable running back 2 for Mike behind Kamara, I think Mike wins this trade. I don't think there's much of a difference from Waller and Fant. I think teams are double teaming Waller. Obviously he's not going to have the year he had last year, but he's still a top 3 tight end. But Mike gets Noah Fant. Tyler Boyd is a flex option. A defense in a trade to me is irrelevant. I think you can stream defenses each week based on their matchup. I don't even know why that was included in the trade. But Miles Sanders is, I guess, the big get for Mike. It's Tyler's 3rd round pick. Can he do something for Mike is the question. But for Tyler, Sony Michel, whatever, and Darren Waller. So now Tyler has DJ Moore. Who's his other wideout? DJ Moore,
Diggs,
Stephon Diggs, and then he has Najee and now Jonathan Taylor. It's a solid lineup for someone that started off 0-2. He made some changes, looks to get some energy back in his team. New revamped lineup. Can he get it going? For Mike, only put up 110 last week, but got lucky facing Joe. He could be looking at 1-2. Mike's team doesn't jump out to me on paper. Like looking at it, it doesn't jump out to me, but can these trades help him out? We will see. But I think the key in the trade is Miles Sanders. What was the other trade? Tyler and his dad. They traded Randy trades Jonathan Taylor, the 7th overall pick, for a 3rd or 4th round Chris Carson's. Chris Carson has been great this year so far, finding the end zone, rushing the ball. And Randy got sick of Jonathan Taylor's shit. He hasn't done anything so far this year. So he said, hey, I found an opportunity. I personally think that Randy could have got a lot more for Jonathan Taylor based on the name Jonathan Taylor.
I don't care about that. He has no production. I think Tyler should have got.
No,
Chris Carson's got much higher ceiling than Jonathan Taylor has.
I think it's a better.
He hasn't doesn't anything.
I think it's a better offense. They're going to score more. To me, I'd rather have Chris Carson's, I think, throughout the year. But Tyler, I think, selling high on Chris Carson. Maybe he doesn't think he can continue.
I don't know. I think he could have got someone else in there.
But Jonathan Taylor, Tyler's hoping he ends up being the 7th overall, pick that was picked. The trade doesn't bother me. The guy that's 0-3 needs help now, and I think Carson can do that. Because you don't want to start 0-4, 0-5, so he needs a guy that's going to be able to score some points. Doesn't bother me. And then last night there was a trade between Jake May and Paul. Traded Javonte Williams.
That's an irrelevant trade.
Smith.
Means nothing.
I guess Paul, he has Swift and Saquon, so he's good at running backs. So he didn't need Javonte Williams, and he looks to maybe upgrade as a flex spot with Devontae Smith, who's been disappointing the last 2 weeks. Can Philly get it going? But Jake May, he finds an opportunity. He has Eckler and Robinson, but after that, not much. So he has add some running back depth while giving up a wide receiver. But for Jake, he got D-Hop, Mike Evans, Corey Davis, Cole Beasley, Christian Kirk. He has the depth at wideout. I think it was a fair trade. It helped both teams out for what they needed. What they need for each other's teams. Other than that, though, I think that's all the trades. I don't know, maybe next week if we wanted to start a segment, if everyone wanted to text me like, hey, I'm putting this guy on the block or something, maybe I could send out a text like each week saying, hey, currently on the block, the following player.
That'll never
something
happen.
like that. But I don't know.
Too
I
many
wish we
people
had.
going behind closed doors and doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. But I wish we had like a tab or something in the group me where you could be like trade block and then everyone could post who they wanted, instead of like randomly throughout the, GM. But let's get into week 4. Let's make this somewhat quick. I'll get your predictions. I'll write those down as we go. Let's start with me versus Paul. For me, I'm picking myself to win. I picked myself the last 2 weeks, and I've won, so I'm going to stick with it. But for me, I think this is a very close matchup. I think the big difference is Lamar, who's questionable, hasn't practiced the last 2 days. He's at Denver. That's never easy to go play at. That's a tough team. Barkley against New Orleans is a very good rush defense. Swift at Chicago, they got a good defensive front, stops the run. Devontae Adams could have a big game versus Steelers. Kenny Golladay, I don't like any giant wide receiver. George Kittle against Seattle, that should be a very good game. And then he has Brandon Ayuk, who's on the San Francisco 49ers as well. He has him. And I have the other guy for the Niners and Deebo Samuel. So anytime Jimmy G throws the ball, there's going to be some points going in our game. But I just think Paul's team has a tough matchup. All his guys have some tough matchups. I have Stafford against Arizona, should be a good one. Zeke versus Carolina. Damian Harris, not a good matchup. He's playing Tampa Bay. I might swap him out and go with Pollard as my RB2. But McLaurin at Atlanta should be decent. Keenan Allen versus Vegas should be decent. Kyle Pitts, I would like to see get going. I'd like to see a big game from him. Buffalo just put up 43 points. Josh Allen threw all over them. I'm hoping Kyle Pitts can get on the action this week. And then Deebo versus Seattle. I think it's a close game, but I think Paul has too many tough matchups. I'm picking myself.
Yeah, I think he hit his cap last week. I don't think he puts over 135 ever again.
Ever again?
Oh,
wow.
Write it down.
Yeah, so let's move on to you versus Jake May. Why don't you take this one?
Yeah, me versus Jake May. Well, let's see here. He hasn't decided on his flex yet. I imagine it's going to be a Cole Beasley or Devontae Smith.
Well, Devontae Smith's gone. Yeah,
gone. He's gone. So probably Beasley.
Yeah.
So that brings the average up to like 123. Yeah, I think I have the better matchups. I don't know. He's got D-Hop against the Rams. That's the biggest one. I know I have Kyler Murray, but if I can throw it to anybody, I think I got the better chance of beating the points there. CeeDee Lamb at Carolina. I like that one. Jamar Chase, Jacksonville. Somebody's gonna have a big game pass catching. Hopefully it's him. I don't know if that's my lineup or not, but I got myself taking the crown. I don't think I can go 1-3 to start.
Yeah, for me, I think Kyler Murray, I think the Rams game is going to be a shootout, so he needs to be on his A game. If it's a shootout and they're putting up points, he's going to have a big game. Just can't go to D-Hop. James Robinson tonight is a big influence on your game and who wins. If James Robinson can do what he did last week, get 15, 20 points, I think it could favor Jake May. But those Thursday night games are always tricky. Eckler versus Vegas and Herbert versus Vegas. I don't know. There could be some points scored. Mike Evans against New Orleans or New England. I would imagine Tom Brady is just going to try to go out there and beat him by 100. I don't know. I think it's pretty even. Yeah. Jamar Chase tonight though versus Jacksonville. Um, that could be also a blowout where Burrow throws all over them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's
it's
going to
a
be a
toss
close
up.
game. I'm picking Jake May to keep the crown. Is my pick.
Yeah.
I think it's very close though, but I think tonight has a very big influence on how your guys' game goes. Let's take a look at Team Batting Lawn versus Matt Carter. I'm picking Matt. I'm not even looking at it.
Yeah,
I'll
me too.
discuss. I'll discuss it. But I think Matt wins, and it's not even close. I'm not a huge fan of Team LB. I've said at the beginning, Jalen Hurts at Kansas City. I mean, team's been able to score on them, but Nick Chubb Chubb versus
don't know.
Minnesota could be tough. Williams against Chicago, I don't know. Robinson against Detroit, you would like to see Justin Fields or Dalton or Nick Foles get it going versus them and throw on them. I don't know. AB back, I don't know. Travis Kelce should have a huge game, and then Kareem Hunt. I just
problem
don't
with Mikey's team, he got a lot of good guys, but only one of them is like the guy on their team, and that's Kelsey.
yeah.
Everybody else is like Hurts. Yeah, he's a quarterback, whatever. Nick Chubb splits it with Hunt. I know he got both of them, but
Yeah.
Williams backup. Allen Robinson has been trash. Antonio Brown, he'll do all right, but he's got 6 other guys to compete with.
Yeah. I agree. I'd like to see LB try to get Melvin Gordon in there somewhere. I think I
I'd be
would
playing him
put,
somewhere.
I think I would put Melvin Gordon in over Williams as the RB2, but where I'd go Chubb and Hunt as the 2 RBs and leave his flex open. Maybe
I'd try to move.
something like that.
I'd try to move one of them.
I don't know.
Chubb or Hunt. I think you got Hunt's the 7th and Chubb's the 10th running back. I think you move one of them and get somebody else.
He's projected 121. I don't see him getting that. And Matt, Brady, I think has a big game. Aaron Jones is questionable. What's wrong with him?
He'll play.
Ankle injury. He's against the Steelers. I think he should have a good game. David Montgomery should get back on track against Detroit. Calvin Ridley against Washington. You saw what Josh Allen just did.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen versus Cleveland. That should be a very, very good game. I don't think Thielen can continue to find the end zone twice a week. Gronk's questionable with rib injuries. If he plays, I don't know if he's going to play or not. Cooks against Buffalo. I don't know. Matt got some tough matchups, though, as well. So this could be closer than I think, but I'm still taking Matt.
I mean, Brady wins it for him, regardless.
I think Matt's team is just – I think Matt seems a lot better than LB's, and I just think he has a more consistent shot at putting up 100. Yeah. I think he has a better shot at putting up 125 than LB does. So I'm taking.
And so does Mikey. Mikey agrees.
Yeah. Let's go over to Tyler versus Joey. This is projected to be a close game. I don't know. Let's take a look at Tyler.
I got Tyler all day, I think.
Taking Tyler.
I don't see how teams can let Cooper Kupp get over 100 yards receiving every game with like 2 touchdowns. I don't know how you're not guarding him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Najee's projected 16. I think that's right where he'll be at every single game, right around that 15, 16 mark. He's projected 16 from Jonathan Taylor, who's questionable. Even if he wasn't questionable, I don't think he gets 16.
He gets
Diggs,
10 max.
Diggs can definitely go over 17. I don't think he's way under that. DJ Moore against Dallas. I think Dallas secondary has gotten a lot better than last year. I think they get a bad rep from everyone now. Oh, Dallas D. I think they're a lot better than they were last year. And, they held Justin
He'll
Herbert.
probably have his little cousin or whatever, brother guarding him. Diggs on Diggs.
No, Moore's versus.
Moore's at Dallas. You're right. He's at Houston. Who am I talking about?
But no, he'll be covering him for sure. So, who knows? Waller against the Chargers, I think, is a Monday night game. That'll be a very good game, division game, and I think Waller could have a nice opportunity. And Sammy Watkins at Denver. I don't like that play, but I don't know who else he would go with. But it's not a bad take. Tyler's team looks good on paper. 132. I think he should be right around that, honestly. I'm also going to take Tyler to win over Joey. let's take a look at Joey's team. He got Derek Carr in there this week instead of Tannehill. I like that play. Monday night. Mixon tonight. We'll see about tonight. This could another Thursday night game that could have an impact on this week's fantasy game. Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon go out there, rush for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think Joe could be right in the thick of things. Chuba Hubbard projected 15 points. I don't think he gets that. 19 from Cooper Kupp. I think he's right around that. Deontay is questionable. I don't know. I really don't. Hawkinson's projected 12. I don't know if he gets that. Waddle, I don't know about. McCaffrey out. A.J. Brown questionable, doubtful to play. I don't know. I'm taking Tyler. I don't think it's close, but it could be close if Mixon has an absolute unbelievable night. I'm taking Tyler. I think he wins by 15, 20 points.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's look at How I Met Your Mother, Mike versus Randy.
Mike.
Mike looking to move to 3-1, and Randy's looking to avoid the 0-4 start. Let's take a look at who's Randy got. Carolina for Dak could be tough. Edwards-Helaire at Philly. You saw what Zeke and Pollard just did. I think Edwards-Helaire could have a solid game. Edmonds against the Rams. Don't think he runs for much, but I think he could be very valuable in the passing game if that's a shootout. I think he gets right around 14. Robert Woods, I'm not a fan of. Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper goes off, Dak goes off, but those two haven't been on the same page since week 1. So we'll see how that looks. Jared Cook, who knows? Chris Carson against San Fran. You saw what Aaron Jones did last week. I think Chris Carson gets every bit of 15 points. Right now, he's projected 116. I think he'll be right around that, honestly. But for me, Mike, I think he just has a little too much with Kamara and Russ. Miles Sanders projected 14. I don't see that. Mike has a laudable green favorable matchups this week. The Bengals defense tonight, Tyler Boyd tonight. I like Mike's team this week. I don't like it overall through a course of a season. I don't think, but that could change. I think Miles Sanders has a big impact for Mike's team moving forward. Metcalf, Jacoby Myers, Noah Fant, Tyler Boyd. Mike made a trade. I think it improved his team. And I think he wins this. I think he wins this week and gets to 3-1, which is a huge start. Starting off 3-1. For Randy, though, I think he moves 0-4. I just don't see some of his guys getting their projected, which means if he's only projected 116, I don't see him scoring 116. And I think Mike scores over 116. I don't think much more, but I think he'll be around 125, 130. And I think that gets Mike a win. Let's move to the last game. This is a very good game. Nick Scalos versus Cam Bildhauer. Cam's 2-1. Scalos is 3-0. This is a very good game. Very good game. Let's take a look at Cam's team. Dalvin Cook should be back. Josh Allen. Darrell Henderson's questionable, but it looks like he's going to play. Tyler Lockett questionable. He's going to play. Cam's projected 140 points, while Scalos is projected 128. That's a big difference. I think Derrick Henry has a big week versus the Jets. That could be a huge game.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking that I want to take Chief because I like Mahomes and Henry a lot better. But he's got Josh Jacobs starting, Julio Jones. Both of them might not even play. I don't.
Yeah, if they don't, if they don't play, he's definitely hurt.
He got a hamstring. He didn't practice today. It's Thursday. I don't see Julio playing.
Yeah.
And same with Jacobs. What's he got? He came back to practice today. All right, so he might play, but it might be limited touches. I don't know. I got to take Cam.
I'm also taking Cam. I think I've picked against Chief a couple weeks in a row, and he proves me wrong. 3-0. I just think this week he has a lot of red on this opponent rank. Godwin tough matchup, Julio tough matchup, Higbee tough matchup, Hollywood Brown tough matchup. I don't think he gets near his 130 projected. While Cam on the other side, Josh Allen versus Houston, Dalvin Cook. They're playing Cleveland. I don't know if he'll get to 20. Henderson, I don't know either. But Jefferson, Lockett, Andrews, Mike Williams. I like that he's in his flex. It's a solid play. I'm taking Cam. I think this could be close, but I think it could be a blowout as well. I don't really know. I'm taking Cam. I just think he has too many talented players. But like Scalos' team, a lot of question marks on Cam's as well. If you look at it, Dalvin Cook, Henderson, Lockett.
Yeah, but if you don't play Dalvin Cook, he's going to sub him for Mattinson.
Yeah,
And I mean, he put up just as many last week. If you don't have Henderson playing,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't really have anybody else other than that. Kenny and Drake has all that money that they gave him, and last week Peyton Barber was the back. So I don't know,
yeah. I don't know either. I think Cam.
which was a surprise for me as well, and nobody decided to pick him up. I picked him up the day after for nothing. He's only projected 1 point, but he had 23 carries for 111 yards last week and a touchdown.
Wow. I'm taking Cam. I like Cam's team better. I think both teams are a little banged up, so we'll see throughout the week who's going to play and who's not. I think more guys are favorable to play on Cam's side, so I'm going to stick with that. Who do you got as the high scorer?
High scoring. Let me look here. I might go off the wall this week. I keep picking myself and it just ain't happening. I think I'm going to go with Mike. He trades away. He's going to show us, why this trade was, Adam Schefter groundbreaking. I'm going to take big old Mike for highest scoring. He's got a lot of good matchups. Russ projected 24. I think he could easily have a 35-point game against them. They're division rivals. Their defense isn't all that great. Kamara should go run all over the Giants, and if not, catch them all. I don't see Sanders getting 14, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to take Mike.
Yeah, so I'm between either Cam or Tyler. I don't know. I think Tyler has an opportunity. I don't know. I want to take Cam, but there's just the question marks on some of his guys if they're going to play or not. So I'm going to take Tyler. I think he's on the other side of the Mike trade. And with Randy, his trades, I don't like his flex option. But I think he has enough with Waller and DJ Moore. Waller and Moore have favorable matchups. Jonathan Taylor, I would like to see him get it going. I mean, 7th overall pick, you'd like to see him do something. But we'll see. I'm going to stick with Tyler, just a random one. I haven't picked him to win high scoring yet, so I'm going to take him.
Do you have the picks in? Do you have everybody's picks in yet?
No, I'm missing. I have a lot of people texted me. I think I'm still waiting on Randy, Mike, or Randy and Cam. I think that's it. Carter texted me. You texted me. Well, I got yours right now. I got mine right now. Tyler texted me. Scalos texted me. Paul texted me. Carter, Joe texted me. LB I got on his video. Yes, I just think two more. So I'll get those in. I'm gonna write them down now as soon as we go.
How many have Mike for high scoring?
Mike, maybe one.
Nobody.
One
you
guy?
owe us an edible arrangement, Mike, if you're watching.
Yeah. I don't think many have Mike, but a lot of people picked Cam and a few picked Carter. I know that. So that's it for this show. We'll be back week 5. Scalos texted me. He said he can't wait to be on the show. So we're going to get him on week 5. I don't think he was ever on the show last year. So we'll get him on for his first show. Get the Chief on there. Continue to chat in the GM trades. I love all the trades that have been made this week. I like it. I want to
Trying to get one done.
I want to get involved in it. I'm
getting offers, but it's just
so
it's just something I can't give up. A lot of people want this Jamar Chase, but I want something back.
Right. So we'll see. But thanks for coming on. Great show. We'll get LB back on next week. And anyone that wants on, feel free. I think everyone's real into the league. I love it. So far through 3 weeks, 3 different high scores. I think last year through 4 weeks, we had the same 2 win it. So it's nice seeing different teams up there. If you guys want to get trades done, shoot them in there and keep making deals. I love it.
Yeah.
That's all we got for today.
it.
Thanks for watching,
All right, brother.
and I'll talk to you guys later.